I hear you.
Who's this? Is this Jose?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Uh,
How you
g-
doing?
Doing good. Guys in chat, can you hear me? Or can you hear Jose?
They
Voice.
can all hear us.
They can hear us? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, sir. So, what is your issue with me?
Well, I think it's really bad that you guys are so hard on these white boys, calling them Nazis.
Hello, hello. That's
Okay, so who did I call a Nazi?
Well, you called me a Nazi,
okay.
and I've heard your channel
Okay.
call all these kids white boys. You call Nick Fuentes a Nazi?
Okay.
How is he a German soldier? I mean,
How is
what
he a
is that?
German soldier?
Yeah, he's not a Nazi. He's an American Catholic. What's so bad
So,
about the
so
kid
what have
talking
I?
about
So
the
what have
fact
I
they like
said that you?
white
So
people?
what have I said that you think is wrong?
What have you said?
Yeah.
Well, it's just that this generalization for these white boys standing up for themselves, and the generalization a lot of people are saying calling them Nazis.
Hmm.
Like, how are they Nazis?
Well, when you're talking about the white race and how the Holocaust didn't happen, I mean, those are pretty much the trappings of a modern Nazi.
Well, just having an opinion about something, right? I mean, that doesn't make them a German soldier. That makes them opinionated.
No one said they were German soldiers. When did I ever say they were German
That's,
soldiers?
that's what a Nazi is. That's what a Nazi is.
Okay, do you think all the Nazis were German soldiers?
I mean, pretty much.
Pretty
That's what it means to
much.
be a Nazi, right? Isn't that what a Nazi is?
So they were. You do realize there were Nazis who weren't soldiers.
I okay, but in general, that
So
was the term used.
that your
I
your
mean, with
argument just falls
everybody,
apart.
come on, everybody in America, when you say Nazi, they mean a German soldier, right? I mean, come on, you didn't call the all German people Nazis, right? We're all German.
Alfred Rosenberg was the head ideologue of the Nazi Party, and he wasn't a soldier.
Well, that's what I
Himmler
mean. They were
Himmler
part of the
wasn't a soldier.
German.
Hold on, Himmler wasn't a soldier. So right there, your argument falls apart.
But so you're telling me he's a part of some organized effort to exterminate Jews? Is that what you're saying he is?
Someone could support the ideology of ISIS, and they may have never killed anyone in their entire lives. But they play the ISIS nasheed music. They will proclaim ISIS ideology. They will talk about destroying Israel. And I say, yeah, that guy is basically, yeah, he's a Muslim fundamentalist, and he's ISIS. Well, he's not really ISIS. He's not really a member of ISIS. I mean, is that the low tier argumentation that you want to utilize here?
What he says, and if you watch his videos, he will just say that honestly, white boys have been persecuted heavily in America, in the job force, racially abused and discriminated against in all forms. That's what he talks about, and he only talks about
I've
Hitler not always in a positive way, in a kind of a jokingly way. Like in other words, kind of say, "I wish we had somebody that would fight for us." That's what he means by Nazi, by Hitler. He's not saying, "Oh, I want to exterminate Jews." He never said that.
And you
He
know
never
what?
said
When
he
the and you
ever
know that
wanted a
doesn't mean
Jew
anything though. But that
exterminated.
doesn't mean anything because
What do you mean?
yeah, that doesn't mean anything because when you have, for example, the history of the Third Reich, all the Holocaust deniers make the same exact argument when they defend the Third Reich. They say, well, there's not a single official order ordering the extermination of anyone. But yet we have records galore of Nazi atrocities. There's no official statement coming out of Israel saying to wipe out the Palestinians. There is no official statement coming out of the Ottoman Empire saying wipe out the
What? And he talked
Armenians.
about the fact that the
So this
Nazis
is
killed
all
Catholics.
just typical. This is the typical argumentation that is utilized to water down the evil reality of Nazi Germany.
Listen, but
And if
listen,
you look at the Third Reich back in the day, they had America First activists who were supporting or who were vocalizing support for Hitler and the Third Reich, and they were using the same sorts of arguments. They're saying, "Well, we would love to have a leader like Adolf Hitler."
well, listen. Them talking about what they wanted, how to fix Germany, was correct. What's not correct is to go and exterminate people. And that's what he's not saying any of that. He said we shouldn't hurt anyone.
Of course,
No violence.
if he
That's what he says
actually,
that every single episode. I watched him today. Uh,
who
he
cares?
always says that he wouldn't harm nobody.
So
He
what?
would never want to harm. He's Catholic. He said we're not allowed to do vengeance.
So what?
And he says every
If he
episode.
enticed people to violence, he'd be in prison. So of course he's not going to
He,
say that.
but you can't say that what's going on in America, how the why people can't get jobs, why they can't go to college, why they get
That's not what
assaulted
we're
on the street
talking
for
about.
being white.
That's not what
You
we're
can't
talking
say that.
about. No one's ever said that. No one's
You
making that
can't say
argument
the
here.
Jews or the
When have I
Jews
ever
are the
said
ones
that?
doing pornography.
When have I ever said that? Tell
But
me.
that's what he's saying. But that's what he's saying.
When have I ever said that that
That's
makes
what
you
he
a
talks
Nazi?
about. But you're calling him a Nazi. How is he not?
When
How
have
is
I
he a
ever?
Nazi?
You're repeating yourself. When have I ever
You say
said?
he's calling him a.
Okay, are you
So
done?
he can. So he can talk about that, right?
When have I
So
ever?
it's okay for him to say this. It's
What?
okay to be white, right? He can say that, right? Nothing wrong with that.
When have I ever said that there was something wrong with saying that?
So why do you hate Nick?
When have I ever said that there's something wrong with saying that? When have I ever said that that makes you automatically a Nazi? Let's be
I mean,
specific here.
literally, Nazis are literally they catch a Nazi now, right? That when the Jews catch Nazis, old men, they put them in prison for being Nazis right now. So Nick should be in prison too.
When have I ever said
Is
that?
that what you're saying? Be calling him a Nazi.
When have I ever
That's like
said he should
calling
be in
somebody
prison?
a racist. If you go and call somebody a racist, a racist right now, in anywhere in America, they
I'm
could lose.
done. I'm done. I just can't do this. This is just too stupid for me.